Alright, so in the previous lecture we created a very interesting looking graph, okay? And it's very basic. It took us 2 or 3 lines of code, but it works, alright? And by now I think you're slowly getting the hang of, so we're gonna plot points and we're gonna create the graph. You know, that slowly you're understanding how we're gonna create these graphs. So we got this graph to show up, and right now we have these buttons at the top. So let's go ahead and see what they do. Right now, the neat feature about this is I can zoom in. For example, if there were maybe 50 points, all right, and all of them were bunched up together, what I can do is I can zoom in. It's not letting me, but if I select this, no, whatever. So this move, so let's go ahead, start from the beginning. The home button allows you to go back to the original position of the graph, okay? If I move the graph all the way over here, and if I hit home, I'm back to the center, okay? This left and right basically zooms out and in. So as you can see, as I hit the left and the right, it goes to the left and the right of the graph. I mean, as I go left, I go back to the normal setting, and as I hit right, I slowly move further along the X and the Y axis, okay? Again, the 2 arrow signs, this is for panning and zooming. I select this, I can move around the graph, okay? Here it goes, I can move around, hit the home to get back. Now this is basically a zoom. Sorry, this is what I was talking about. In here what you can do is you can zoom in. So let's say I want to zoom in on this particular part of the graph. Awesome, I zoomed in. Let's zoom in further. Ooh, this point looks interesting. Awesome, awesome. And then what you can do is with the arrow keys, these left and right arrow keys, I can go back. So I can zoom in further, I can zoom in back, and then go back to the normal settings, all right? This is basically the subplot configuration tool. Again, this is quite useful, all right? Let me quickly explain what's happening. So I'm gonna minimize this so that everything fits on your small screen, or my small screen actually. And whoops. All right, this works for now. So the left, as you can see, it gives us more or less white space on the left hand side, increase or decrease how you go on the graph to look. The bottom does the exact same thing. The right and the top, if you haven't already guessed, also does the exact same thing. Basically, they're used to position or adjust the plot, okay? So you can change the plot space and stuff. White space and horizontal space, sorry, width and height space, this basically changes that. But right now you're not seeing anything, that's fine. So reset this, that's all good stuff. And last but not least, you can save this graph. So let's go ahead and try saving this. It says save this figure. Yeah, sure, I'll just save it there, save. And if you open it up, so let me go in my documents, and into the thing I just saved, it's been saved as a PNG. So my preview is right now opening, and you should hopefully see, ta-da, it's now saved the graph as something that we can show to people, or you can use it in maybe one of your business documents, whatever, but it's saved it as a PNG. So it's pretty neat. Something if you ever wanted to talk about, if you had an interest in with graphs and stuff, this is definitely a very, very useful tool, okay? So in this lecture, we basically talked about the whole plotting interface, what the different buttons did, how to save your graph, and so on. Now, in the next lecture, let's go ahead and talk about more of the graph. So what other features can we add to our graph? See you in the next lecture.